Hey, good morning, guys. This is Bailey. I'm going to be teaching our class on marketing within MyKW today. So if you're following along, go ahead and go to mykw.kw.com and get logged in. I'll give you guys a moment to do that. Alright, once we're logged into MyKW, we're going to be working in eEdge today to look at all the different marketing materials that we have available. So to access that from our home page, we can go to the eEdge control panel up at the top. We're going to click the plus sign next to My Marketing. And we'll go ahead and select this first option, which is Create Marketing Materials. Once we click that, it will take us into eEdge to the Marketing Center. So this is kind of our hub for all things marketing. We can manage email marketing here, print marketing, our campaigns, look through different files that we've already created. Basically everything marketing is in here. But before we actually go into making a marketing piece, we want to make sure that all of our information that's in eEdge is correct. So when we create those pieces, the information that's pulled over automatically is correct. So to do that, we're going to go up to the top right and we'll click Account. From here, we'll go ahead and click My Account. This is going to bring us to the My Account settings page of eEdge. As you can see, all of our contact information is displayed on this page, and this is the information that will pull over onto your marketing materials when you're creating them. So it's really important to make sure that the information on this page is correct so that you won't have to manually update your information on each individual marketing piece. So I'll start by clicking the blue Edit button at the top left. And this will allow us to make changes to this page. So things you want to look out for, of course, are your name. Maybe you have a title in here, any designations. Super important is our email. So in this section, it does ask for an external email. This needs to be basically any email that is not this eEdge email. So this is the email that you would be using for your marketing. So this might be your kw.com email, it might be a Gmail, or maybe just some other email that you have. You want to make sure that your preferred email for your business is in this external email box. So as you can see, his eEdge email, Scott's, is scottleroy@kwrealty.com, but here down below we have scott@scottleroymarketing.com. Very important, directly below that in this marketing section, we have a marketing and reply to email. So if you enter this for the first time, or maybe we haven't done your setup yet, it might be displaying your KW Realty email. You want to make sure that you change this. Once you select that, it'll automatically pop in whatever you put in this external email box. So make sure that is selected. What this means is on your marketing emails, anything that you send out, it will say down at the footer, it will display this email as your email address. And then if anybody replies to any of those marketing emails or any drip campaigns, the responses will come to this email address. So you really want to make sure that these two are the same and it's an email that you prefer to use. Over here to the right, we have our phone numbers. We have a cell phone number and an office number. There's no way to switch this or change these icons, but if you wanted to leave one out, you could. But these are cell phone and office number. Here at marketing website, this is where you would put your preferred website. So I know it's a little confusing because Keller Williams does give you a few different websites. We recommend putting your Playster site in this box. If we do your setup, we put your Playster URL here. So This is just whatever website you are using as your main site. So that may be your Playster website. Some of you are probably still using your eEdge site, or maybe you have just a totally different website that you've created on your own. Make sure that whatever one that you basically like the best or prefer to use is in this marketing website box. Down below, marketing address, make sure that this is your office number. We don't recommend putting your home address on here. Mobile app. So we don't have a mobile app for Scott, but this needs to be your mobile app code. So if we did your setup, we would put that in here. It's usually something like KW, A, B, C, D, E. It's usually a group of letters after this, but this is important because on those email pieces and on your campaigns, down at the bottom there is a link that says click here to download my app. So if you want that set up, you will need to make sure that your mobile app code is in here. So if this isn't in here, it is in the eAgency section 4.5. But if you have trouble finding that or you want us to fix this up for you, just let us know. But if we did your setup, this should be correct. Just go ahead and take that out. So that all looks good to me. I can go ahead and click Save now. And what's great is this will automatically update. So if you're working on a marketing piece and you see that the information is not correct, you can come over here, fix it up, and then right when you go back in, it'll already be updated. Continuing on, just below all that contact information, we have social media options. So on those emails down at the bottom, there are little icons for your social media, so someone can click on the Facebook button and be taken to your Facebook page. So if you wanted to add social media, you can click the blue Add Social Media button. Up here at the top, it'll say URL type, select one, and these are just some of the different social media profiles that are available to add. So if you have any of these, you can select that, and then just paste in or type in your URL for that social media profile, and then hit save. We don't have an Instagram, but it would probably be something like instagram.com/ScottLeroyMarketing. And hit save, and it's added in below automatically. If you want to edit these, you can hit the little pencil button to make changes, or if you want to delete, you can click this little X. Are you sure you want to delete this social media link? Yes. And it's gone. Down at the very bottom of the page, we have our images section. There's 3 different images on here. The first 2 are the website image and the marketing image. So a lot of times these are the same. These are what are going to display on your website, and then this is what's on your marketing materials. So definitely want your headshot in these 2 boxes. To the right, this is where your marketing logo would go. So this is a great place for if you have your own logo that you've created. Maybe you hired someone to create a really awesome logo for you. You can put that here. What we do is all the KW offices actually have their own special KW logo that's different than the just generic Keller Williams one. So we put that in this space. You can also put in a QR code here. Say you want to add in your QR code that allows people to download your app, you can put that here. Basically anything you want, but I don't recommend putting in just a plain KW logo, just the one that's only a KW and says Keller Williams. Because on those marketing materials that you create, it will put a regular KW on there for you. So if you put one in here, it'll basically double up and you'll have to delete one off the marketing piece. So only put something in here if it's like an actual like special logo like your own, or one of those custom ones for your office. But this all looks good to me. We're going to scroll back up. And at the top, let's jump into making a campaign. So at the very top, we will go to Marketing and click on that. And then we will go to Manage Campaigns. All right, this is going to bring you to the My Campaigns page. This will usually bring you to a page that shows all of the campaigns you currently have running. It may show some campaigns that are not active as well. If you have a big list here, pay attention to the ones that say active. You can also sort these in different ways. Maybe right now we're just seeing everything, so we only have this monthly newsletter going. But you can sort them by status if you only want to see active campaigns, maybe campaigns that are inactive, paused, or completed, and then on different schedules if you're looking for those. This is really great if you have a big list here. We only have one campaign listed here, so let's go ahead and add another. So we'll go to the top right and click the blue button that says Add New Campaign. On this page, it will display all the different campaigns that are currently available. There are 62 different campaigns that you can choose from in eEdge. So up at the top are the newer ones. We have a 12 Direct campaign. A lot of these campaigns are duplicated, so you will see two. Make sure you're selecting the correct one. The first one will be for an individual, and then this next one you'll see it says team. So we've got some 12 directs, some 8x8s for buyers and sellers, and 33 touch. So I'll go ahead and just explain the difference between those real quick. Most of the time, the first campaign that you're going to set up, and the first one that's recommended, is a 33 touch campaign. This campaign goes out twice a month for the whole year. These actually run April to April. So when you put someone on this campaign, it's a date campaign. So when you add someone on here, it's just going to pick up from wherever this campaign is currently running. So this says 29 email steps, but actually there's only, I think, a couple months left. I think this maybe goes through the end of March or maybe the end of April. But if you put someone on here, they will just jump in right where they are. So they'll continue to get the pieces that are relevant for this time of year. In April, there will be a new 33 touch campaign that comes out. Like I said, these run April to April, so all of these will be completed at that time. And then you can start your contacts on a new campaign. But these are great for people like your SOI, your sphere of influence, family, friends, people who may not know that you're in real estate. So this one it's usually a combination of something fun or informative and then a monthly newsletter. So those are the 33 touch campaigns. I'll just scroll back up. There's also a 12 direct, and there's a few different options for each type of campaign. These are just the newer ones at the top. But 12 direct, so these go out once a month for the whole year. And depending on which ones you choose, like the monthly newsletter, that's a 12 direct campaign. They get a newsletter every month. This one is called Home Ownership Know-How. Actually, if you're looking at the campaign and you want to get a better idea of what this campaign actually looks like, you can go down below and click this option that says Show Campaign Step Details. And this will expand and it will show you the different steps. And you can actually, this first one is called Is Your Home Smart? If you click on the little thumbnail, it'll bring it up so you can see what this email actually is. So these are kind of like a fun, informative piece. They'll get something like this every month. And of course, down at the bottom, it will switch this out for your information. It'll plug in your headshot, your contact info, and then your logo. So that's a way you can get an idea if you want to set up this campaign, is by clicking this little button and it'll show you exactly what's going to be sent out. And of course, you can make edits to these. I'll go into that a little bit more. And then the other campaigns on here are an 8x8. These are for buyers and for sellers. These are the more aggressive campaigns. I forgot to mention the 12 Direct, that one is great for past clients and anybody who you don't really want to bug too much or send too many emails, but you still want to let them know that you're around, so 12 Direct would be great for them. 8x8 is the more aggressive campaign. So this one goes out once a week for 8 weeks. These are tailored toward buyers or sellers, and they're great for anybody who is looking, oh, sorry, question. Can you clarify start and stop dates or order of the campaign? Okay, so I'll go into that a little bit more. I'm going to set up a 33 touch so you guys can see. So the main difference you'll see, let me see if we can bring two in this. Okay, so big difference here, date campaign and interval campaign. So these date campaigns are the 33 touch campaigns and the 12 direct campaigns. So these basically start in April and they end in April. So when you add someone on here, they're not going to go back to the beginning of the campaign. They will just jump on and get the next email that's supposed to go out. And I'll show that a little bit more when I go into the 33 touch. So basically these run and they are sent out on specific dates, which you can change, but basically like they're specific to that time of year. So around like December or November, they may get a holiday piece. And you know, in the spring, they might get emails about spring cleaning, stuff like that. So they are run on specific dates. Interval campaigns, like the 8x8s, that means they are run based on when you add someone to them. So this is an 8-week campaign. When you add someone to an 8x8 campaign, they will get an email the next day. So they get the first email one day after they're added to the campaign, and then one every week after that. So that's the main difference between the two campaigns. I'm just going to select, let's do a 33 touch since that's the first one that most people set up. So I'm going to scroll down and choose this 33 touch Your Local Expert. And I'll show you guys how we can set that up, and I'll show like what the dates really look like on here. That should explain it a bit better. So if you find a campaign that you like, you can click choose this template, and that'll bring us in. All right, if we scroll back up, it brings us to step 2. I'm going to just minimize that really quick. Step 1 is just changing the title of the campaign. So maybe you're setting up a 33 touch for specific groups like family, SOI, something like that. So I'll just title this one. This is really just for your reference. This is a 33 touch for my SOI group. And save and continue. So step 2, this is relevant to what you were asking. Review and configure steps. So as you can see, there are only, this is a campaign that runs for the whole year, but there's only 6 email steps left. Since these run, I think does it run through the end of April? It looks like it goes through, looks like these are now going through May, which is different. So even though this campaign at the beginning, I think it said like 28 steps or something like that, 24 steps, there's only 6 left. So if you were to put someone on this campaign, the first email they will receive is March 1st. And it looks like the first one is one of those informative pieces. I'll go ahead and show you the little thumbnail. So 3 home improvement projects with ROI potential. So this is an example of the first email they would receive on March 1st. You can change this date here. If you go to the section that says schedule and then click the little calendar button, it's scheduled for the 1st, March 1st, but you can change that if you'd like. And then the email subject here. The next step on here is a task. So it's a mix. So this is an activity. So the next email that's going out in March is that This Month in Real Estate newsletter. So these 33 touch email campaigns, like I said, one is kind of like an informative or fun piece, and then one is a newsletter. So then the next email they would get is on 3/14. So say you set up this campaign today, you put 20 people on it. The first email they'll receive is on the 1st, and then maybe after the 1st, on March 2nd, you add 5 more people. Those 5 people are not going to receive this email that just went out. They will just have to wait, and everybody will get this next email. So I hope that makes more sense, since these are date campaigns. Whereas the interval campaigns, say you added somebody on this campaign on the 8x8, they would get this email one day after they were added, and then maybe you added, 5 people a week after that, they would get that first email as well. It would just go back. So they'd be on 2 different schedules, basically. But on these, everybody receives the same email at the same time. So as you can see, next to these emails it says personalized, these like informative ones. And then next to the newsletter it says this library design may not be personalized. That is because you can't make changes to these until about a week before they actually go out, just because they don't have the facts yet. It's a monthly newsletter. I'll give you a little preview. I don't know what month this is for. So they will actually put this in here with real information. It's nationwide, so it may or may not be relevant to the area you're in, and I've heard people say that may or may not be super important. But these emails are not available until about a week before, until they have the actual information for March, like the rates and everything. But about a week before this goes out, you will get a notification saying that you can make changes to this. So I'll just show you how we can personalize this first email that would go out on March 1st. Like I said, you can change the date here by clicking the calendar button. You can change the email subject line here. But to make changes to the actual email itself, we can click personalize. Once the screen loads, it'll bring us in and we can basically switch stuff around on here. For these, it's basically click and edit. So there's an image here at the top. You can, of course, change the size on that. If you want to change the image, you can upload an image from your computer by clicking this blue button over on the right. They also have stock images in here. My images down below, these might be pictures that you've uploaded into the system. I'll just choose a stock image. I usually just do something silly. I like this groundhog. Ooh, let's do the snail today. I don't know why these are in here, but you probably have a better image. If you're changing this, you probably have something better in mind. But that's how you can switch out the images on here. Of course, you can change the text. And just update this in whatever way you'd like. If you want to add a video on here, you can. Up here, these are just like text editing tools, so of course if you wanted to change the text, you can. You can just highlight that, make it bold, make it not bold, change the font, change the font size, change the color. Usually just make this as obnoxious as possible when I'm teaching this class. And then, yeah, if you wanted to add a video, just select where you'd like to add that video in this email. This is the button to insert an image. This little, looks like a little picture of a mountain. But to insert a video, you can click this button to the right of that. Looks like a little video clip. It looks like film with a play button on it. Click on that, and you can add something from YouTube. So I'll go ahead and do that. Our YouTube page is youtube.com/ScottLeroyMarketing. By the way, we have a lot of great stuff on here. And I'll just add our Scott Leroy Marketing little intro video. So what it's asking for on here says submit your video URL. So you would have to have this imported to either YouTube or Vimeo. You wouldn't be able to just upload an image from your, or I'm sorry, a video from your computer. So you would just go to the video that you want added. Maybe you added it to your YouTube page. Just go like you're watching the video and copy the address in the address bar. Paste that here into eEdge where it's requesting that and click submit. Perfect, and then it plugged our video. So maybe you made a video talking about real estate trends for that month or something. You can add that in here and then hopefully your clients will watch that. So we changed out the image, we changed the font, we added a video. Down at the bottom you can see it did plug in our information, so it has Scott's photo, his name, contact information. There's that generic KW logo that it plugs in for you. So like I said, if you would have added in another one, you would have had a duplicate, which is fine, you can delete these. And then down below, here's where it says click here to download my mobile app. That's why we needed that mobile URL there. This is that marketing email that we plugged in, and then our marketing website. So this looks good to me. Be sure to click Save at the top left. There have been issues where the system freezes up or crashes, so with anything, definitely hit that Save button as much as possible so you don't lose any work. This looks good. Now that we've saved it, we can click Exit, and this will take us back into the campaign. So before it was just showing us a preview, it didn't even have our contact information in there, but now since we've updated this, when we click on the little thumbnail, it has been updated. So there's our video, our little snail guy, and then that text that we changed. So I'll exit out of this preview. So that's step 2, review and configure steps. So you don't even have to do this. The great thing about these campaigns is they say set it and forget it. So you can actually just go in here, and if you don't want to make any changes, don't. You can just go in, add your contacts, hit go, and then they'll start receiving this. So like I said, I've heard mixed opinions on this. So some people have said, you know, it doesn't really matter like what all the content is on there, because probably a lot of people aren't going to read this. So the most important thing is that your clients are seeing your name and your face and knowing that you are still selling real estate and you're there to help them. So that's just an opinion I've heard. Of course, you know, you don't want to send out something that's totally irrelevant. Say you're in, I don't even know, somewhere in the middle of the country where real estate is not too expensive, and maybe this is sending out rates that are like California prices. You'd probably want to change that depending on your clientele, but it's really up to you. So you can come in here, you can either do the set it and forget it thing, or you can come in and make those changes. But once this looks the way you want it to, all these steps, you can scroll down and click Save and Continue. And that just minimizes that. So that was step 2. Step 3 is add or remove contacts. So let's go ahead and expand this by clicking on this title. And this is going to bring up a couple options for you. So you can either add people by groups or by individual contacts. You can do both. The great thing about adding groups is, say, let's just add this 12 Direct group on here. It has 2 people in it. Moves them over from the left to the right. And the cool thing is, so now moving forward, if you ever add new contacts to your database and you decide to add them to this 12 Direct group, they will automatically be put on this campaign. In the past, if you added someone to a group and all those people were on a campaign, you would still have to individually add them to the campaign as well. So they are kind of streamlining this, which is awesome. So we've got our 12 Direct group on there, 2 contacts. You can add as many groups as you want on here. And then we can also just go to this little Contacts tab over here. So we can see the individuals who's actually on here, me and Scott, but we still have other contacts on here. So this is showing all the eligible contacts of people who you are able to add them to your drip campaign. So sometimes people will call us and say, hey, I'm setting up a campaign. It's saying that I can only add like 200 people. I know I have at least 300 contacts in my database. That is because it's not showing people who are ineligible. So if you uncheck this box, so for us it didn't make a difference, but sometimes when you uncheck this box, it'll show a lot more contacts here. It'll show people who either have bad email addresses, contacts who don't have email addresses at all, maybe you only have their phone number or their mailing address, and then it'll also show people who have unsubscribed. So if you want to get a good gauge on that, just uncheck this little button. But it doesn't really matter for us because we don't have a whole lot of people on here. But now it's showing all of our people who we can still add to this, whatever this is, campaign. And yeah, so let's just go ahead and add everybody. So you can either add people individually by clicking the add button, Or if you just want to add everybody, go ahead and click this Add All Contacts button. And there we go. So now over here on the right, it's showing everybody who's on the campaign. So if you wanted to remove people, you could. You can just click this Remove button here. Since me and Scott are in a group, we would have to remove the group. Totally to get us off this. So if, you can kind of decide what works best. I think adding, like managing your database and putting people in groups first, and then adding that over to the campaign, I think that's probably the best way to do it, but you can make that work for whatever you need. So we have everybody on here, and we're going to click Save Changes. Step 4 is Review and Activate. I don't know, I've been getting this alert. I always just hit continue. It says you've made edits that have not been saved, but as you guys know, if you've been following, we've saved along the way, so I don't think we're going to lose anything. I always just hit continue. I think this is a glitch. Alright, last step, step 4, review and activate. This first question says, once a contact completes this campaign, you can automatically add them to another one. So this is really great for like the 8x8 campaigns. Say you put somebody on a short campaign, you can then, once they're done with that short aggressive campaign, it would be great to add them to like a monthly newsletter or maybe a 33 touch or some other 12 direct, so you keep contacting them but not as frequently. I would not recommend doing this for the longer campaigns. So say your 33 touch finishes and then you put them on a newsletter. More times than not, once your 33 touch finishes in a year, you'll be alerted and it'll tell you, hey, your 33 touch is done, set up a new one. So I wouldn't do this unless it's on a short campaign. So it's automatically put on monthly newsletter. I'm just going to change this to none selected. We do need to check these boxes. This one just says I've reviewed the campaign. Basically, you're not spamming anybody. And then this little button says include showcase properties. That just means it'll include a couple listings at the bottom of the email that people can click on and get more information on if they're interested. So once we've checked those, we can go ahead and click Activate Campaign. This will refresh and take us back to the My Campaigns page. And as you can see, our monthly newsletter is still there. And now we have another campaign listed below. Right now it's showing as active, this little green button. But if you click that, you can pause it and turn it off. It's showing that we have 8 contacts on here, 1 group. There are 6 email steps left. None selected for the next campaign, but if you wanted to change that, you could by just clicking on this. And then we have performance over here. So this is pretty cool. This isn't going to show anything yet, obviously, because this hasn't sent. But if we click on performance at the far right, it'll show you all of the feature steps in here. It'll show you how many people are on this, and then it'll actually give you some stats, like how many people opened the campaign, how many clicked, if it bounced, how many unsubscribed. So it's pretty cool. I'm just going to go back. Say you set up a campaign and you want to make any changes, you would just click on the title of that campaign and it'll take you back in. And you can go through these same steps again. I am actually just going to scroll all the way down to the bottom to review and activate and just delete this campaign so I don't spam my coworkers. So down here at the right, I can click on this delete button. And yes, delete campaign. Alright, so that was setting up a campaign. Next, let's just go ahead and create a flyer. So going back up to the top to marketing, we can click on that. And let's go to the marketing center. First option. Alright, now we're back where we started at the Marketing Center. This is where you can find email marketing, print marketing. You can also access the campaigns from here. You can access your designs, any images that you've uploaded into eEdge, stuff like that. So let's do an email piece real quick. We'll just go here to browse email greetings. Actually, I like to go in a different way. I'm going to click, if you already clicked this, that's fine. But let's go to My Designs over here on the left. Alright, so when you click that, if you click that other button, it's going to bring you to the same page. So right now we're looking at all of the different things that I've currently created in eEdge. If we want to just search the whole design library, we can. So right now over here on the left, the search options box, the option for Save Designs is selected. These are all of the things that we have worked on. If we switch this to Design Library, this is going to bring up absolutely everything in eEdge that you have access to as a marketing material. Down below here on the left, you can select different types. If you want to see everything, you can check the boxes for all of these. And then down at collection, there are different collections. Maybe you're looking for stuff for buyers, sellers, sphere, what have you. I usually just leave this on all collections, but you can break this down if you'd like. So right now we're in Design Library and we have everything selected. We're open to everything. So there's 662 results. Basically what's pretty cool is, say there's a campaign that you were looking at and you really liked one of the email pieces from it. You don't have to set up that whole campaign if you don't want to. You can actually send out one of those pieces individually, which is pretty cool. So we can just go ahead and just play with the search in here a little bit. Over here in the keywords box under search options, you can definitely break this down a little bit better. So let's just try putting in the word buyer. And then you can either click the blue search button or just hit enter. I'm going to hit enter. So now buyers down below, this is what we're searching for, this keyword, and 126 results are found. So you can scroll through here. It looks like a lot of these are emails. But you can switch this up. Say you only wanted to see emails. You don't want to see postcards, flyers, greeting cards, or guides. You can just uncheck these boxes and we can see this number slowly getting smaller. Perfect. So now we're only looking at stuff in the design library with the keyword buyer, and we're only looking at email and video. Real quick, let's just put together an email. Ooh, and I need to plug in my computer so it doesn't die. There we go. So let's just click this first one. Time to buy, seize today. Looks like it's from a team. Let's do one that's not for a team. Here we go. It's all about you. So I'm going to click on this third option. It's all about you. Look at this happy couple. So if this looks good, say you want to email this out, you can either personalize it, make some changes, or just compose an email directly. I'm going to go ahead and click personalize real quick. And this is basically the same thing we just went over. So it's going to be the same as editing in the campaign. So this is an email piece. You can see it plugged in our information. This all looks good. It's all about you. There we go. I made a change. Perfect. So you can change this out, of course, however you'd like. Change the images, change the text. But once this is all good to go, of course, hit that save button. And then exit. And now you can see this actually updated over here on the left. So what's pretty cool is this is an email piece. So you can't really download like a high quality PDF or anything, but say you made this email piece and you really like it and you want to either maybe email it from your own email or put it on Facebook, put it on Instagram, what have you, print it out. You can do that. So you can actually, this little preview over here, you can save this, save image as. I just right-clicked it, by the way. This will save to wherever on your computer. It's a JPEG image, but basically you can save this and do whatever you want with it. So I'll just open this up real quick and preview. It's saved to my downloads. But now we have this image that we created. So like I said, you can, if I were you, I would probably take this image and then like crop out this bottom part where it says click here to download my app and stuff. Make this a little smaller, but you can print this, you can post it on Facebook, you can email it out. You know, you're not limited to just emailing this in eEdge. So that's just a cool little trick. I'm going to exit out of there. But since this is ready to go, let's just compose an email. Click the blue button for compose email. So when you do this, this is going to send out from your eEdge email. So anytime you send out an email piece in eEdge, whether it's like an individual marketing piece like this or a drip campaign, it will be sent from your eEdge email. So keep that in mind. It'll come from your KW Realty email. But this is why, there isn't a way to change this unfortunately, but this is why we have it set up so if anybody replies to those emails, it'll go to your preferred marketing email. Another little trick that I have seen agents do, we just saved this as a JPEG. If you have like a MailChimp account or something like that, or maybe you're using Gmail, you can plug this image, just that JPEG, add it into MailChimp or whatever CRM you're using, and send it out that way as well. But yeah, so we're up here. As you can see, it plugged the email in. It does look hazy. That's just because we can't make changes in here. So if you wanted to make changes to this, you would have to go back. But once you send this out, it will be like the full resolution and it won't be blurry or fuzzy or hazy anymore. Down here at the bottom, if you want to include showcase properties, it will do that. If you want to include your social media links, you can check the box for that. As you can see, it put in our Facebook and our Twitter. If you want to attach anything, there's an option here for attach file. I'm going to scroll back up. Subject line, you can change this. And to add contacts, you can either start to type people in individually, and it'll pull them up from your database. Or if you want to like add a group or add a whole bulk of people, click on this blue to button. And it'll show you everyone in your database. So same thing over here on the right, this is who we've added to this campaign. Up here at the top, you can search for people if you have a whole bunch of contacts in here. You can send to people from status, say you only want to send it to people who are marked as leads in your database, you can do that. Or by groups, you can sort the different groups here and just select those boxes. Of course, you can add all eligible contacts, remove everybody. I'm just going to add myself and actually send this so you guys can see. But there we go. We're going to save and continue. We've added who we want to this email. It will send on the same day. It sometimes takes a little while to go out. I think it could take up to like 15 minutes for this to go. So if you sent an email and it doesn't send right away, just give it a little bit of time and it should eventually send out. If you have Market Leader Pro, you can actually schedule this out in the future. So this looks good. We can click send now. And there we go. We just hit send. So like I said, this could take a little bit of time to go out, but you can check that out. If you go into up here in messages, I'm not going to go in there right now, you can actually go to your sent mail and break this down. You can see when your emails were sent, if they opened it, clicked it, what have you. But for now, I'm just going to go back to search. Up here at the top right, click on that. Perfect. So when we do that, it is going to take us back to our saved designs. I'm going to check the box for design library again because I want to show you guys a couple more things. So now we're back looking at everything in eEdge, so 662 results. Let's do a listing flyer really quick. So I'm just going to search the word flyer. And we can either hit enter or click this search button. One thing to note real quick before I do this. So say you're searching, you search flyer and then you think, oh, actually, no, I want to search postcard or something. So I'll type in postcard and hit enter. So right now it's saying, oops, no designs matched your search criteria. So what's happening is we typed in that keyword, but it's actually searching for both right now. So it's searching for pieces that have keywords flyer and postcard. So if you change your mind and you want to do a different search, just make sure you click the little X next to the keyword you don't want to search for anymore, and then it'll fix that for you. So I'm going to click on this, get rid of that. We do want to actually see flyers. So I'm searching the word flyer, hit enter, and 16 different results. So there are some property flyers on here. And I'm just going to click one and set this up real quick for you. So I'm clicking property number 1. All right, if your MLS is hooked up in here, and if this isn't working, let us know. We can help get this fixed up for you. You can actually, so this basically means that your IDX is hooked up in eEdge. So you can actually search for a property on here. Search for the one, maybe you're doing an open house for somebody, or maybe it's your own listing. But you can search for that. You can search by the MLS number or the address. I'll just go ahead and click this first one. And it will plug in the information for you, so it makes it pretty easy. So we've selected this listing, and now we can click personalize. Awesome! So as you can see, it plugged in. You do have to do some rearranging. Sometimes this is a little funky, but it plugged in the photos. These all are different, but they look exactly the same to me. So I would probably switch these out. There isn't a way to like switch from the MLS. So you would have to download the files and re-upload them if you want to change them. But yeah, this looks great. So you can go on here, same sort of thing. If you want to delete images, this is actually, the print pieces have a little more wiggle room when it comes to editing. The email pieces, they'll say HTML optimized, so that means you can't really just like drag and drop stuff. On here, you can do whatever you want. So I can take this photo, click on it, move it around, make it bigger, make it smaller. If I want to delete it, I can click on this little trash can button, and it's gone. So let's just move this stuff up. Do this real quick. Perfect. If you want to change any of these images around, you can click on the image itself and hit the replace button. And then same thing as before, you can upload an image from your computer, use a stock image. Oh, I guess it does have MLS images. Oh, that's so easy. Okay, perfect. I didn't actually know that. So since we have this listing plugged in, we can easily switch this out with different images from the MLS. That is awesome. You learn something new every day, guys. Perfect, and of course you can change the text around. Say you want to put like a little header bar up here, we can hit this shapes button. I do this a lot. A lot of times on here too, like this little bar right here, oh, you can, oh, it's the whole background. That's interesting. Okay, well sometimes there are shapes or colors on here. Maybe it's a flyer with a black background and you don't like it. What you can do is you can just maybe create an image like this, a shape, and then overlay it, change the color. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll add like a red bar at the top. And of course you can add in custom colors. You can select from like a color wheel, or if you know like the Pantone number, you can add that in here. But let's just go with that color. That looks accurate actually. So add this in. You can use the forward or backward button. So since this is over on top of my text, we'll hit backward. Oh, this is the whole background. Okay, so let's just bring this forward. Make the text white. Perfect. And then here's our little image back here. Move this forward. Oopsie. Well, now it's giving me some trouble. This is kind of a weird one. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to grab this rectangle back here. There it is, and I'll bring that forward. Perfect, and then fix this background. Alright, so you get the gist of that. So you can add in images, switch things around, make them look however you want. It did kind of distort this text, so, oops. Alright, it did kind of distort this text a little bit, so, and it did put the whole property description. So this is a lot. I would probably edit this if I were you. But yeah, same thing. Change the colors around, make it look however you want. This flyer looks pretty good, I think. But yeah, play around with this, make it look good. Once you are ready to go, of course, hit the save button. Hit this as much as possible. Perfect, and now it's in my saved design, so we can hit exit now. And sometimes it does this. It will kind of mess things up. So we added this bar in, and it didn't do the right order. But you can go back in and play with that. It's not really super important. You can take it out and just rearrange it again. But yeah, so once you're here, you can either make a change, or you can download the PDF to your computer. This is great. This will give you a really great high quality image that's good for printing. So now I just downloaded that to my computer and I can print this out, email it, what have you. And they do also offer printing. I don't know too much. I can't really speak to like the quality or the price or the timing on here. I don't know how long this takes, where it comes from. So if I were you, I'd probably just buy my own paper and print it at my office, or print it at like Kinko's or something. But they do offer that. So yeah, that's a little bit about creating a print flyer. One last thing I want to go over, since it's one of the things we are asked about the most. If I go back to search, once again we're in the Save Designs, and now it still has that flyer option here, so I'll check on that. And these are all of our saved pieces. So now I'll go back to Design Library, check that little bubble again, and let's do a listing presentation really quick. So under Keywords, I'm going to type in Listing Presentation. And we do have videos specifically on this as well. So if you need to go over this a little more in depth, check out our YouTube page, search Listing Presentation, and we go over this. But I'm going to type that in and hit Enter. Now we've searched the design library for listing presentations. There's a few different things in here. There's a pre-listing presentation and pre-listing presentation letter. And then there's also, I think, for individuals and teams, and then a listing presentation for individuals and teams as well. So I'll just click on the regular listing presentation, and that will take us in and allow us to make changes. So you can't download this right away. You do have to go in and personalize it. There's only one spot that I've found that you absolutely have to change. So let's click the blue Personalize button. Once this loads, same sort of thing. You can basically do whatever you want in here. The one place that I have found where it requires you to make a change is at the bottom right of the first page. It says prepared for client name. So let's definitely fix that. John Smith. Perfect. But yeah, you can do whatever you want on here. You can change out the text. You can add a shape, change the colors around. If you want to add an image, you can click this image button up here and add a logo. Perhaps you have your own logo that you want to add in here. Yeah, but then, so you have to edit these page by page. Over here on the right, you can scroll through. And it's pretty generic info for this listing presentation. You can, of course, go in here and change stuff around, delete it if you want. But I'd say go through, check everything out. It's just stuff you can go over with your clients. There isn't a way to completely delete a page or add a page. So if you want to do that, you would either have to download the whole PDF and then use like a PDF split site or Adobe to kind of break it down individually and delete those pages, or if you print it out, just throw the page away. There isn't a way to add or remove pages in here. If I were you, I would probably, like if I wanted to add my own page, I'd probably like make a copy of this or print out a second one and just delete everything on here and then edit it on your own. Looks like, yeah, 20 pages for this. So yeah, you can go through and make changes. Like I said, we have a video that goes over this a little bit more in depth, but once this is good to go, you can of course hit that save button at the top left. Title that, hit save. Perfect, it's in my saved designs now, and then click exit. And now you can see we have the option to download the PDF. So once we do that, this will save all 20 pages on our computer together in one file, and you can choose to print it, you can email it. These are great for tablets, like you can put this on your iPad, you can put this on a TV if you want to do it like on a presentation that way, like a PowerPoint type thing. Yeah, lots of options for this. They do also offer printing. Looks like it's $35. I know in my old KW office we had, like if somebody wanted a listing presentation, we had nicer paper, we had our own binding system, so you can check, you can see if your office offers that, or of course places like Staples, Office Max, they offer printing and binding as well. So like I said, I don't really know anything about what Market Leader's printing is like, so I can't really recommend that. But yeah, so you have the option to download this, print it, email it, get it to your clients in whatever way you can. So that is about it for our class today. We will have this class recorded on our YouTube page, so if you want to rewatch it, or maybe you came in late or you want to go over something that you didn't understand, you can do that. And yeah, so if you guys have any further questions, definitely let us know. But that is about it for today. So I hope you enjoyed the class, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Thanks, guys.